Hello folks, my name is Daniel Ruiz and I'm the owner of Blinders Off, LLC. I have over 15 years of retail automotive experience. 15 years of seat time in the retail automotive industry has given me the ability to interpret data differently and spot nuances that others without my experience often miss. An in-depth understanding of consumer, retail dealer, and manufacturer behavior has allowed me to develop a highly effective inventory analysis process. The combination of my unique process of analysis and experience helps me spot key inflection points well ahead of others and could benefit the quality of your investment decisions. My years of experience have led me to believe that used car values are the foundation for the entire automotive industry. I will share my analysis to support that statement and explain how I believe that timely and expert analysis of used car values can be used as a leading indicator for broad and focused auto-related forecasting. This chart from NADA has received a lot of publicity lately. I'll be using it throughout this video to illustrate the importance of used car values to the health of the entire auto industry. Used car values determine in large part the velocity of new car sales. Most new car transactions involve a trade. The level of equity in a trade oftentimes determines whether a new car transaction will be successful or not. To illustrate this, consider this chart of a 60-month loan on a Toyota Camry. The black line represents the principal balance owed. An optimal trade cycle occurs when the principal balance owed on a loan intersects with the market value of the vehicle. The green dotted line is a representation of peak used passenger vehicle values. Notice how quickly the value line crosses the principal balance line. Fast forward to today, and the yellow dotted line represents the current market value of that vehicle. Note how much longer it takes for the two lines to intersect. A longer trade cycle results in a slower velocity of new car sales. Today, we've seen data suggesting that used car values can drop as much as 50% from current levels represented by the bottom dotted line. Consider for a moment what a drop that large would mean for new car sales velocity in terms of trade cycles. This is the root cause for a lot of the headlines that we're seeing today. Subprime loan delinquencies, falling loan originations, and manufacturers spending more on incentives and getting little to no return on investment. Used car values also determine the effectiveness of leasing. Leasing is responsible for a significant portion of total light vehicle retail sales. There are many benefits to leasing, but the most important is affordability. As leases become more affordable, they become more appealing to consumers and penetrate at a higher percentage of total sales. The most significant component of a lease is the gap between the residual value and the sale price of the vehicle. As residuals rise, the gap gets smaller, leading to lower payments. As residuals fall, the gap becomes larger, leading to higher payments. A residual value is little more than a guess at a future value of a vehicle. Manufacturers and third-party companies like ALG use current and historic used car value data to establish residuals. Because of this process, residual values tend to lag used car values. The black line on this chart will represent residual values. When used car prices outperform residual values shown here in the green areas, new car business expands. When used car values underperform residual values shown here in the red areas, new car business contracts. At the peak of used car cycles, sales become very dependent on leasing due to affordability. This is very evident today as lease penetration rates have reached a record-breaking 32% in 2016. The average new car price has increased by 20% since 2008, in large part due to low interest rates and high residual values. The combination of the two has helped keep payments low and supported sales volume, while average wages have remained relatively flat. We are currently in an environment where used car values are underperforming residual values. I've shown many examples of this on Twitter. I've also offered a detailed explanation of why the bullish used car value cycle for passenger cars has ended on this YouTube video. The record lease rates of the last 3 years will produce record lease returns for the next 3 years. Here are some examples. This is BMW's maturity curve. Mercedes, Ford, General Motors, and Hyundai. Lease maturities don't necessarily turn into inventory problems. When used car values are outperforming residual values, most clients elect to buy the vehicle from the captive bank or utilize the equity as a down payment towards a new purchase or lease. A smaller amount of vehicles reaching wholesale auctions limits supply and supports higher used car values. However, when used car values underperform residual values, clients will exercise their right to give back the keys to the vehicle and use the protection that residual values gives them. Dealers will also reject the vehicles at the residual value, and the transfer of ownership from captive banks to the new owner will happen at wholesale auctions. Higher auction volumes support lower used car values. Our analysis predicts that affordability will be negatively impacted over the next 3 years. Very well-known sources are forecasting a slight increase or a flat new car sales performance year over year. Some have forecasted an increase of sales in 2018. A rising rate and falling residual environment does not support those projections. I will show you how used car values affect specific businesses by using car rental agencies as an example. A major component of profitability for rental car agencies is the monthly unit cost per vehicle. As you can see in this chart, the peak of per unit expense occurred at the same time as the bottom in used car values. The low in per unit expense occurred at the same time as used car values began to top. This is due to fluctuations in level of depreciation depending on market conditions. Here's a direct comparison of equity price in Hertz to used car values. Though it's truly not this easy, you can see a very tight correlation between used car values and the stock price. The stock price both topped and bottomed at the same time as used car values. The problem is that the data reported by Manheim, NADA, and publicly traded companies are all lagging information. We offer timely analysis that alerts you of coming changes and inflection points. We not only offer up-to-date used car value data, but we also understand what factors affect used car values ahead of time. Right now, manufacturers have a high day supply of vehicles due to a rate of sale calculated from a record sales performance in 2016 and a 5-month decline in 2017. Even those without a day supply problem will become more aggressive. Manufacturers will not sacrifice market share while others attempt to manage their day supply problem. This will be taking place within the next 30 to 90 days and will intensify during model year-end clearance when incentives are typically most aggressive. The unintended collateral damage of this set of events will be used car values. This is a very serious event because shortly after starts the wave of lease returns. We will know when used car values correct well before the data is reported. We can provide timely coverage throughout what we believe will be a very difficult auto market in the next 2 years, with the potential to lead our country into a recession. If I can be of value to your team, please contact me at druiz@blindersoffllc.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at druizg80. Thanks so much for watching.